And I didn't think any of the actors were all that great. And I thought I would convince myself that I could do that. They were gentlemen. I mean, they weren't assholes. I've had that question asked so many times, and it's so hard to answer because, you know, if you have good fortune enough to have been in some decent films along the road.
6 names. That's all it takes to send waves across Hollywood today. At 80 years old, Sam Elliott revealed a list of actors he says got it all wrong, from inauthentic performances to values that clashed with his own. The surprising twists in this story: longtime friendships shattered, behind-the-scenes drama, and values that Hollywood doesn't highlight anymore. Stick around, because the last name on this list might change everything you thought you knew about respect in the industry. Number 1, Kevin Costner. Sam Elliott's career has been built on the dust and grit of the true West. It's why fans were surprised when he turned down a chance to appear in Yellowstone, the hit series often praised for reviving the Western genre. But for Elliott, it wasn't much of a mystery. In his view, Kevin Costner's portrayal of cowboy life on Yellowstone and beyond misses the mark. Elliott's rejection of even a cameo sent a clear signal. This wasn't the kind of Western he wanted anything to do with. The tension didn't stop there. Elliott also criticized Costner's performances in films like Wyatt Earp, pointing to what he saw as a clean-cut, polished image that felt out of sync with the raw, unvarnished truth of the Old West. To Elliott, Costner wasn't capturing the weight and weariness of a working cowboy. He was acting the part of a Hollywood cowboy, all show and no substance. Elliott also highlighted what he called the soap opera with a cowboy hat nature of Yellowstone, arguing that its dramatic twists and melodrama overshadow the heart of the Western. Love triangles and power scandals, he believed, traded authenticity for mass appeal. But what happens when someone tries to recreate a world they don't fully understand? Number 2, Benedict Cumberbatch. The clash between Sam Elliott and Benedict Cumberbatch might not be what you'd expect. After all, Cumberbatch, a British actor known for his sharp, intellectual roles, wouldn't seem like a natural source of tension for Elliott. But everything changed when Cumberbatch stepped into the world of Westerns with the power of the dog. For Elliott, it wasn't just a misstep. It was a complete misunderstanding of what the genre represents. Elliott didn't hold back when discussing Cumberbatch's performance as Phil Burbank, a rancher whose harsh demeanor hides deeper complexities. He criticized everything from the character's slouched posture to the English actor's attempt at a Montana accent, which Elliott described as off. To him, it felt like someone trying to act tough without understanding the quiet yet intense strength a real cowboy carries. Elliott's sharp comments sparked a wave of backlash. Fans of the film accused him of gatekeeping and dismissing a nuanced take on masculinity. But Elliott stood firm, arguing that Westerns should embody tradition, not reinterpret it for modern audiences. To him, the stoic values of the genre were being overshadowed by what he called performative storytelling. So, is the Hollywood of today losing touch with what the Western once stood for? Number 3, Ashton Kutcher. When Sam Elliott joined the cast of Netflix's The Ranch, it seemed like a pairing meant to bridge generations. Hollywood's no-nonsense cowboy working alongside Ashton Kutcher, the sitcom star turned tech entrepreneur. But behind the camera, Elliott wasn't as impressed. For Elliott, Kutcher's approach to acting reflected everything wrong with the modern industry. He reportedly told a close friend that Kutcher acted like a guy who saw acting on YouTube, a sharp jab at what he saw as a lack of depth and preparation. Elliott's frustrations didn't stem from personal clashes, but from a more significant concern about the industry's changing priorities. Kutcher's career path, from that 70s show to investor and social media personality, seemed to Elliott like a pivot away from the craft and towards something he viewed as hollow. While Kutcher publicly called Elliott a legend and a mentor during their time on the ranch, Elliott quietly expressed doubts about Kutcher's discipline, often pointing out his reliance on charm rather than emotional authenticity. To Elliott, acting wasn't about algorithms or branding. It was about grit, experience, and truth. And as Hollywood leaned further into spectacle and social media influence, he couldn't help but ask, how much substance is the industry willing to sacrifice? Number 4, Nicolas Cage. When you think of Nicolas Cage, Restraint probably isn't the first word that comes to mind. Known for his wild, unrestrained energy on screen, Cage has built a career on bold, unpredictable performances. But that very style is why Sam Elliott has a hard time respecting his approach. To Elliott, acting is about subtlety, small, simmering moments that reveal a character's depth without shouting for attention. And he's made it clear that Cage's high-octane method, what Elliott famously called more firework than flame, represents everything he believes has gone wrong with modern cinema. For Elliott, the problem isn't just Cage's eccentricity, but its impact on the larger picture. In his view, performances like Cage's hijack attention, turning the spotlight onto the actor rather than the story. This isn't just a personal critique, it reflects Elliott's belief that acting should serve the narrative, not the other way around. He once described the art of storytelling as a balanced collaboration, one where actors work together to shape a cohesive, believable world. Cage's style, to Elliott, disrupts that balance. It's spectacle, not substance. But with Hollywood increasingly embracing shock value and chaos, Elliott's left wondering, has the craft of acting been swallowed by the need to dazzle? Number 5, Jeff Bridges. Sam Elliott and Jeff Bridges were once the picture of a perfect friendship. Their bond, cemented during the making of The Big Lebowski, felt like more than just two actors sharing the screen. Offset, they connected through values that seemed timeless: simplicity, hard work, and reverence for the craft. Their shared ability to capture understated emotion with seemingly effortless grace made them not just collaborators, but kindred spirits. And yet, over time, something changed. When Bridges won his Oscar for Crazy Heart, a shift began to take place. Elliott reportedly observed Bridges embracing the spotlight in ways that felt out of step with the man he once knew. Appearances in high-fashion spreads and at red carpet events, complete with political declarations, painted a picture of someone inching further into Hollywood's polished image of fame. For Elliott, grounded in unadorned authenticity, this drift was hard to ignore. The fallout wasn't explosive. It wasn't one dramatic moment, but a quiet unraveling. Elliott described it cryptically, saying, "Some folks change, others just show who they always were." The silence between them grew louder, leaving Elliott with the painful realization that the values underpinning their friendship had been left behind. So, what happens when shared ideals no longer connect? Number 6, Jared Leto. Sam Elliott's disdain for Jared Leto boils down to one word: pretentious. For Elliott, acting should look effortless, a natural, seamless embodiment of a character. But Leto's notorious method acting, with its extreme preparations and off-screen theatrics, strikes Elliott as anything but. He once reportedly described it as theatrics masquerading as talent, a direct rejection of what Leto represents in the world of acting. Elliott's frustration wasn't just professional. It was personal enough to make him walk off a project entirely when Leto was cast. A rare and definitive move for the seasoned actor. Elliott has always believed that acting should serve the story, not the actor's reputation. In his opinion, Leto's approach leans too heavily on spectacle, with stories of elaborate preparation and behind-the-scenes antics often overshadowing the actual performance. Elliott reportedly quipped, "If he needs that much effort to act, maybe he's in the wrong profession." A sharp jab at the elaborate lengths Leto takes to commit to roles. For Elliott, true talent lies in disappearing into the role, blending so fully with the character that no part of the actor's process is visible. It's a quiet, disciplined craft, something Elliott feels is being lost in Hollywood's obsession with grandiose displays. Sam Elliott's criticisms go beyond individual performances. They expose a deeper divide between a Hollywood that prioritizes reinvention and a tradition rooted in grit and authenticity. To Elliott, acting isn't about flashy displays or constant innovation. It's about grounding yourself in truth and honoring the craft. Whether it's rejecting Kevin Costner's polished cowboy or walking away from Jared Leto's method theatrics, his stance demands a closer look at how Hollywood balances art with its growing appetite for spectacle. So, what do you think? Should acting evolve with the times, or does Sam Elliott have a point about protecting its foundations?